Even kids know one lie plus another lie does not create truth. In the Vice program, the producer piled up lies from several third parties to deceive the audiences. In this and the next several episodes, we focus on the lies of the third parties and how they fit into the fiction cult story that Isobel was trying to create. Attempting to engineer neutrality, Vice had Jack Stubbs, the VP of Intelligence at Graphica, a private social media and tech intelligence agency, to echo what Isobel said earlier in the program.
He seems more concerned with advancing conspiracy theories than human rights. Is he fighting for a just cause, or is he capitalizing on the appeal of disinformation to build his own power and influence? So how influential is Guo Wengui?
He's hugely influential. This showing you here is Guo Wengui and his network in blue and white. We identified more than 1,000 individual entities and organizations, and then each of those is going to have hundreds or thousands of followers. What's most concerning is the propensity for members of Guo's media network to take information that's been spread online and translate that offline. That has on multiple occasions led to acts of real-world violence.
Graphica is often viewed as a credible company, as its work is often referenced by the media. Just like people are more likely to believe Dr. Fauci and Dr. Barrick on the origin of the COVID-19 virus when the truth is buried underneath their shiny titles and credentials. By comparing the work of Graphica with other analysis on the same subject, we confirmed our suspicion that Graphica is a friend of the Chinese Communist Party. Graphica made its name by putting out investigations about disinformation and foreign influence operations online. In its two reports published in September 2019 and April 2020, Graphica reviews that an active, persistent, and prolific cross-platform political spam network has been praising the CCP, as well as attacking Miles Guo and the Hong Kong protester by using hijacked or fake accounts on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Everything seems okay until you read the conclusion section in both reports. The 2019 report says, this suggests that it was not a state-backed operation, but a smaller and less professional network run by unknown individuals to boost anti-Guo and anti-protest messaging. Graphica named this group Spamouflage Dragon. How creative. The 2020 reports again states, it is not yet clear whether the Spamouflage Dragon network is run by one organization or is a more cooperative endeavor of small groups. So, who is this Spamouflage Dragon on Earth? Let's take a look at a different study on the same subject. In June 2020, the International Cyber Policy Centre of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, ASPI, an agency established by the Australian government, published a report titled Retreating Through the Great Firewall, a persistent and undeterred threat actor. Its findings are somewhat aligned with Graphica's findings. It says, this report analyzes a persistent, large-scale influence campaign linked to Chinese state actors on Twitter and Facebook. This activity largely targeted the Chinese-speaking audiences outside of the Chinese mainland, where Twitter is blocked, with the intention of influencing perceptions on key issues, including the Hong Kong protests, Miles Guo Wengui, and to a lesser extent, COVID-19 and Taiwan. Unlike Graphica's avoidance of pinning the culprit, ASPI exposed the fact that the CCP was behind these disinformation operations. Under the subheading, the Chinese Party State and Influence Campaigns, it concludes, since tweeting through the Great Firewall, we have observed a significant evolution in the CCP's efforts to shape the information environment to its advantage, particularly through the manipulation of social media. Through 2018 and 2019, we observed spikes in the creation of Twitter accounts by Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, spokespeople, diplomats, embassies, and state media. 2 months after ASPI released its analysis, Graphica's third report on Spamouflage Dragon came out in August 2020. It says, Twitter attributed the original activity on which the dataset is based to operators linked to Chinese state actors, although Graphica has not, to date, been able to establish a connection between Spamouflage Dragon and government entities. Graphica's fourth report, published on February 2021, states Spamouflage is increasingly entwined with Chinese state officials and narratives, and Spamouflage is a cheerleader for Chinese state narratives of China's rise and Americans' fall. It's so pathetic. After 4 attempts, Graphica still tries to avoid stating the obvious. Is Graphica's technical competency inferior to ASPI, or else? In previous episodes, we mentioned that the CCP has many partners in the West, such as influential lobbyists, Disney, and HBO Vice. These CCP's globalist friends are not only avoiding telling the truth, but also actively creating disinformation to mislead people in democratic countries. Their actions make them co-conspirators of the CCP. Hence, the enemy of the deplorable, the little guys, 老百姓. So how influential is Miles? Well, there are way more of us than the CCP and its globalist friends. When people know the truth, they rise. we will end this episode with a section of the raw Vice interview footage recorded by Miles.
No, I think so. No, it's not about money. This now take down CCP is about your phrase, religion, phrase, not about money. Money cannot take down CCP. Americans are rich, but Americans now get the CCP richer. They make spreading the coronavirus there. Nobody can say the truth, can ask the truth. This is American rich. No, not about the money. This take down CCP need your courage. You need you really have faith.